My name's Charles Mindenhall and I'm the founder of Blenheim Chalcott. So we've been in business here in London for the last 16 years. We've built about 30 companies. We own 18 or 19 companies today. We employ about 3,500 people across the United Kingdom, about 1,500 of whom are here in London. Well, we saw what was being done up in the northwest and the tremendous success of the youth zones up there. And then we saw what was provided in London. And there's some great initiatives down here in London for young people. There's lots of positive things that are being provided for young people. But it's also a very big place with a lot of pressures. Housing is very dense here. Young people are often crammed into small areas, and there's also lots of places in London where young people aren't perhaps getting the opportunities that they need. So when we looked around London, we thought there were various locations where young people could really benefit from the sorts of youth zones that are provided so well up in the northwest. And we therefore went about trying to engage local authorities down here and talk to them about what they'd like to see on the ground and how that could fit in with the existing youth provision they have. Well, so far our discussions with local authorities and other youth bodies and interested parties have been very positive. In the capital, there are lots of local authorities who are welcoming the sort of approach that OnSide can bring to the capital. So we feel good about that. We feel like there's a real opportunity to develop youth zones down here. We've got a number on the cards already, which is great. None actually kind of underway yet, but we're very hopeful of getting some going. And I think there's a lot of positive feedback, for that. There's certainly the demand. There are going to be some challenges though. So obviously funding is one of those, getting the funding to not just build the youth zones, but actually fund the operating costs on an ongoing basis. The other challenge is land down here in the capital. It's obviously expensive, and that's always going to be difficult, therefore, to get hold of. But again, there are opportunities to find the right plots of land, and local authorities are being very helpful in doing that. The other challenge, of course, that you face is just the size of the facility. Up in the northwest, they're quite large facilities that we have in place, and I suspect down here we're going to have to make sure that the footprint of our sites is perhaps a bit smaller. Well, the main messages of OnSide, which have been so successful in the northwest for young people, somewhere to go, something to do, someone to talk to, they resonate very strongly for young people here in the city. The reason for that is that London, well, it's a big place. It's got not that much land and not that many facilities available to young people. So actually creating these spaces, these places for young people to go, I think will have a tremendously positive effect on them. The same effects that they have on young people in the northwest, but even more so here in London, where spaces at a real premium. It's hard for them to find places that they can go to which they can call their own, where they can build the right relationships, they can build their own self-esteem, they can build confidence to be successful in the future. That's why I think it's important that youth zones exist here in London. Well, I think it would be great to be able to make sure a youth zone is accessible to every young person in the capital. That doesn't mean to say there needs to be one in every London borough, but what you do want to make sure is that if a young person wants to get to a great facility where they can talk to someone, do something, have somewhere to go, it'd be great if that's accessible to every person in the capital. And one of the great things, of course, about London is the transport infrastructure. We have lots of buses, tubes and trains, so you would hope that a young person can find their way to one of our zones, and in 10 years' time that will be open to every single one of them who wants to go.